I can't believe 2022 is almost here. And some of you are making your plans for the new year. Before we get into how to make your own NFT and how to catch the next Shiba or Doge, I have to tell you this. The last 2 years for a lot of people have been very trying, very tough. And what I want you to do is make a list of the people that are currently in your life. And next to their name, I want you to put heaven, if they are giving you the best experience that you've ever could have had in life. And that's personally, business, romantically. And then I need you to write hell next to their name if they are not giving you that experience. There's no in between. People are either giving you the best experience and you're doing things to make sure that you have people in your life that give you the best experience on life possible, or you're not. So before we get into it, I want to tell you this. Please stop trying to convince people to be in your life. You cannot make someone treat you well. You cannot make someone treat you with kindness, love, respect. If they wanted to treat you that way, that would. So if you agree, please put yes in the comments. But oftentimes, because we are loyal, because we are loving, because we take a certain kind of action, we expect others would do the same. And oftentimes, the people that are the most loyal, the most loving, end up getting used the most. So if they are not giving you heaven, please let them go.
This is how you make an NFT. The first step is to go to metamask.io and create a MetaMask wallet. Then you have to go to OpenSea.com and create an account. You will then link your OpenSea account with your MetaMask account. Then once you've reached OpenSea, you need to go to the top right corner to create. Then once you've reached create, you put in your file. Then after putting that in, then we name it. And then you scroll down and add a description. Then you go down and add the properties to the NFT. Then once you've filled out everything, you click create. And there you go. That's how you create an NFT.
And the process doesn't have to be super complicated. So in the comments, I want you to write down that 5-step process. Okay. So number 1, number 2 is OpenSea. Number 3, go to create. Number 5 is I want you to name it, but I want you guys to write all 5 steps because you guys have been asking, how can I create my own NFT? And we'll get into how to market it, the angles and approaches you can take for it to be successful, etc. But because the economy has not fully recovered and the job market is still delayed, the reason why there is all this innovation, especially in the fintech space, crypto space as a hedge, etc., it is solely because the job market is going to rapidly decline over the next 15 years. And people are now seeing, hey, there are other ways in which we can monetize and live a great life. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Of course, thoughts on the metaverse. So number 1, I talked about it earlier, but the addiction rate will be 14 times higher than that of smartphone usage. And a lot of people say, hey, I don't think that's true. In 2007, did you think that people would be holding their phone in their hands for 16 hours a day? And when I tell people, hey, you got to cut off your phone for 8 to 12 hours a day now, people are saying, well, I can't run my business. I can't run my life without it. I can't. I'm like, yes, you can. But you've been trained not to. And if I have trained you to use this phone as a 5th limb, the next iteration after that will be to get you hooked in the metaverse. And for those of you that play Madden, play 2K, Fortnite, Roblox, you're already likely have been indoctrinated to that world and ecosystem. The third step after the metaverse takes off and Facebook will have competitors from Apple, Google, Microsoft, etc. The next step after that will be what we talked about before, is being able to upload your human consciousness into expensive human sleeves, whether that's iRobot-like or more advanced versions of that. Number 2, slowly over time, over the next 7 years, we will spend more time on our digital life more than we do our real life. So I want you guys to be very careful. But for those of you who are not living or have not achieved the life that you want to, you then can go into this metaverse and build that life that you want there. You will eventually see Yeezys being sold in metaverse and alternative universes, Rolexes, cars, houses, etc. Because if you have not been able to ascertain that stuff in real life, this is a secondary place that will become your primary, in which you can live out all of your fantasies. Got to be careful. Third, there'll be a hyper focus on luxury items, and the desire to be cool is going to be even higher than it is in real life. So you see it in 2K. Like if you don't have certain gear, or hell, like my brother even tells me, like you have to pay to be a better player if you have a player that you have created. So in these universes and spaces, and if there's multiple groups in which you're hanging out in, there are different items that signify status, symbol, importance, or significance in the world. It won't be too far off when you actually see someone spend $20,000 in the metaverse for a Rolex to wear on a character, and they don't have the equivalent of that watch in real life. Please be mindful. And 70% of our attention in 5 years will go to improving this digital life. But the intent is to have 99% of our time in front of screens, away from real life. And also you have to be careful, because now if you thought privacy was dead before, now with biometric data, now knowing every desire on top of all search history, it's going to be a field day for a lot of advertisers. But for the companies, if you did not trust them before, you have to be very careful. So the metaverse was a great initiative for Facebook to rebrand post scandal. There's a lot of things that they still need to change and improve upon. But this is a very tricky situation, and it won't be as destitute as Ready Player One per se. That's a good movie you need to check out for reference. But there's going to be a great push, because the world is slowly eroding. They're going to give people a place to go to not think about how their lives have eroded. And if money is online, majority of our transactions are done online. Majority of our romantic relationships are started online, whether Facebook, IG, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, etc. All the apps. All of our communication with our friends are done online via iMessage, or majority of them. iMessage, social media. If we are recruiting business-wise for that, this is the next evolution, and we are not that far off from that. And in closing, you guys asked about some stocks that you can invest in for exposure to the metaverse. So of course, Facebook is one. I don't think it would be the best, but it would be one that people are going to forget about until it is too late. Microsoft, and go Google HoloLens and what they plan to do in that space. The HoloLens is much better than Oculus. And once they get their plan together to have mass adoption, it's going to be very interesting. Of course, one I've talked about before, AMD, and then of course, NVIDIA, because in order to make these virtual worlds work, you need supreme chip power. And those are two of the best companies. And once something runs up, 15,000, 30,000, 100,000%, it's hard to ignore. These are good trades, but the 5 best cryptocurrencies that could be the next Shiba or Doge coin. So you can write this down. I'm going to give more than 5, but SafeMoon is one. Chainlink, VeChain, DOT, one that many people are not talking about, Reef. Of course, Stellar, which Microsoft has invested in and they have backing in. For those of you that are holding XRP, a few clearances could make them shoot up dramatically. And once again, all of these are great trades. But I'll even say in the case of Shiba, and some of you have asking what could I have done better. Any asset that you believe in, you have to hold for at least 1 year. Please write that down in the comments. At least 1 year. Because I'm seeing people get into good positions, even if it's just a good trade, and you get rid of it too quick. Second, mark off where the exit is going to be in advance, so once it gets there, you don't have FOMO. And if you guys need to know when to exit, you always can ask me, hey, what do you see this running up to? Okay. Solana is another one. Another crypto that a lot of people are not talking about, XYO. Sand. And the final one, of course, shout out to Queen Kayla, Queen of Cardano, Queen of and Cardano is the last one. So a SafeMoon, Chainlink, VeChain, Dot, Reef, Stellar, XRP, Solana, XYO, Sand, and Cardano. Which of these do you think could give the kind of gains that Shiba or Dogecoin gained? Please put it in chat. Which of the stocks from the metaverse are you interested in? And lastly, what are your thoughts on the dangers of the metaverse? I love you guys so much. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Love you. Over and out.